The Seven Wonders of the Ancient World are a list of notable buildings and monuments from antiquity. These wonders were selected by various ancient authors and have become iconic examples of human skill and creativity in ancient times. Hello people, welcome to Stories, Curiosities and Mysteries. Today we will see the 7 wonders of the ancient world, but before starting, don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell and leave a good like. It will help me a lot to move forward. Well, without further ado, let's get started. Number 7. The Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza is an iconic monument of antiquity located on the Giza Plateau, near Cairo, Egypt. It was built around 2580 to 2560 BC during the 4th dynasty of ancient Egypt by Pharaoh Khufu. It is the largest of the 3 pyramids of Giza and originally had a height of approximately 146.6 meters, with a length of each side of the base of around 230.4 meters. It is composed mainly of limestone and granite blocks, with a structure that includes 3 main chambers: the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, and an underground chamber. The pyramid is aligned with great precision in relation to the cardinal points and is believed to have had a religious and symbolic meaning related to life after death and the pharaoh's ascension to heaven. Although it has lost its original limestone covering, the pyramid is still preserved and is one of Egypt's main tourist attractions. Its construction and design continue to be the object of study and admiration for its advanced architecture and technology for the time. The Great Pyramid of Giza continues to be a subject of study and research for archaeologists, historians, and scientists as it continues to fascinate and raise questions about the engineering and skills of the ancient Egyptian civilization. Although it has lost its original limestone covering, the pyramid is still largely preserved and is one of Egypt's main tourist attractions. There are numerous theories and speculations about how this monumental structure was built, but some aspects are still not completely resolved. Number 6. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were a supposed ancient architectural structure believed to have existed in the ancient city of Babylon in what is now Iraq. These gardens were described as terrace gardens with exotic plants and ornamental trees, built by King Nebuchadnezzar II around 600 BC. However, it is important to note that the existence of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon is the subject of historical and archaeological debate. No solid archaeological evidence has been found to confirm its existence, and much of what is known comes from accounts written by ancient authors such as Herodotus and Strabo. Ancient accounts describe these gardens as an architectural marvel with stepped terraces and lush plants suspended at different levels. They are said to have been created by Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife, Amytis, who missed the mountainous vegetation of her homeland. Despite the lack of physical evidence, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon remain an archetypal symbol of ancient beauty and architecture and have influenced imagination and culture throughout the centuries. Number 5. The Statue of Zeus at Olympia. The statue of Zeus at Olympia was a monumental sculpture dedicated to the Greek god Zeus, located in the Temple of Zeus in Olympia, Greece. It was created around the year 435 BC under the supervision of the prominent sculptor Phidias. The statue was colossal, reaching a height of approximately 12 meters and depicted Zeus sitting on a lavishly decorated throne. It was covered with ivory and gold, adding detail and splendor to the sculpture. The figure held a scepter in one hand and a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, in the other. This masterpiece of classical Greek sculpture was a symbol of the majesty and power of Zeus, the supreme god of the Greek pantheon. The Temple of Zeus at Olympia became a center of pilgrimage and worship due to the presence of this dazzling sculpture. However, in 426 or 425 BC, a fire destroyed the statue and much of the temple, putting an end to this magnificent work of art. Today, no part of the sculpture survives, but it is remembered and studied as a significant milestone in the history of ancient art. Despite its destruction, the statue of Zeus at Olympia continues to be remembered and admired as one of the great works of classical Greek sculpture and as a milestone in the history of ancient art. Number 4. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus was an ancient sacred structure located in the city of Ephesus in what is now Turkey. It was dedicated to Artemis, the Greek goddess of hunting, the moon, and fertility. The Temple of Artemis was located in Ephesus, an ancient city in the region of Ionia on the western coast of what is now Turkey. The construction of the temple began around 550 BC and was financed by Croesus, king of Lydia. However, a series of additions and renovations were made over the centuries. It was a structure of large proportions, approximately 115 meters long and 55 meters wide. The temple was surrounded by 127 giant Ionic-style columns, which gave it an impressive visual presence. The decoration and architectural design included ornamental details, statues, and reliefs honoring Artemis and other Greek gods. The Temple of Artemis was a prominent religious and cultural center in ancient Greece and was considered a place of pilgrimage and worship of the goddess Artemis. It also served as a meeting and business place, attracting merchants and visitors from across the region. Throughout its history, the temple was damaged and destroyed on several occasions due to fires and acts of vandalism. The most famous destruction occurred in 356 BC when a fire caused by Herostratus devastated the temple. Despite successive reconstructions, the temple never completely recovered its former glory and was definitively destroyed by the Goths in 268 AD. Today, only scattered ruins and columns remain, showing the magnificence this temple once had. Although it no longer exists in its entirety, the Temple of Artemis in Ephesus remains an object of archaeological and tourist interest, and its influence on architecture and culture endures through the centuries. Number 3. The Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. The Mausoleum at Halicarnassus was a monumental structure built in the city of Halicarnassus, now Bodrum in Turkey, during the 4th century BC. This mausoleum was dedicated to Mausolus, a Persian satrap of Caria, and his wife and sister Artemisia II after Mausolus' death in 353 BC. The mausoleum was built in Halicarnassus, capital of Caria, an ancient region on the southwestern coast of Asia Minor, modern Turkey. It was designed by Greek architects Satyros and Pythias along with the help of other experts. It was an impressive structure with a height of around 45 meters and a base of approximately 38 by 32 meters. The mausoleum had a complex architectural design with classical Greek elements, including columns, sculptures, reliefs, and statues adorning its different levels. The mausoleum consisted of a raised platform that supported a series of ordered columns and sculptures. It was crowned by a horse-drawn chariot and a statue of Mausolus and Artemisia along with other sculptures representing gods and heroes. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was considered an architectural wonder of antiquity and is one of the most outstanding examples of monumental funerary architecture of the time. It was a monument to the memory of Mausolus and Artemisia, and its construction marked a milestone in the artistic expression and public memory of rulers and aristocracy in ancient Greece and Asia Minor. Over the centuries, the mausoleum suffered damage from earthquakes, wars, and looting. Much of its structure was destroyed and dismantled during the Middle Ages to be used in other constructions. Currently, only ruins and scattered fragments remain that allow its original appearance and splendor to be reconstructed. Number 2. The Colossus of Rhodes. The Colossus of Rhodes was an imposing bronze statue erected on the island of Rhodes in the Aegean Sea, near modern-day Greece, in honor of the Greek god Helios. It was built between 292 and 280 BC. The Colossus of Rhodes was erected in the city of Rhodes on the island of the same name to celebrate the successful defense of the city against a military siege in 304 BC by Demetrius Poliorcetes. It was designed and supervised by the sculptor Cares de Lindas. The statue had an estimated height of around 33 to 36 meters, making it one of the tallest statues of antiquity. It was made mainly of bronze and was built on a stone and marble structure. The statue represented Helios, the Greek god of the sun, who was also the protector of the island of Rhodes. Helios was depicted standing and dressed in a tunic while he held a torch in his hand to symbolize the light of the sun. The Colossus of Rhodes was located at the entrance to the city's port, and its legs were on both sides of the canal, giving the impression that ships passed under the statue. The statue of the Colossus of Rhodes was a symbol of the strength and victory of the city of Rhodes, as well as a representation of the divinity and protection of Helios. Its construction was financed with the spoils of war after the successful defense of the city against Demetrius Poliorcetes. The Colossus of Rhodes stood for approximately 56 years before being destroyed by an earthquake in 226 BC. After its collapse, the statue and its remains remained in the ground for centuries until they were dismantled and sold for scrap in the 7th and 8th centuries AD. Number 1. The Lighthouse of Alexandria. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, also known as the Lighthouse of Pharos, was a monumental structure located in the ancient city of Alexandria, Egypt. The Lighthouse of Alexandria was located on the small island of Pharos at the entrance to the port of Alexandria, a city crucial to trade and navigation in ancient times. It was built during the reign of Ptolemy II Philadelphus between 280 and 247 BC. It was a structure approximately 100 to 130 meters high, making it one of the tallest lighthouses in antiquity. It consisted of several sections: a wide square base, a cylindrical tower, and a lighthouse at the top, which emitted light to guide ships at night. The Alexandria Lighthouse had the main function of guiding sailors and protecting ships from the dangers of the port and nearby rocks. Its light was fed by a bonfire located at the top, and the reflection of the light from the fire in a concave mirror helped to increase its visibility. It was considered one of the most advanced structures of its time and became a symbol of ancient engineering and architecture. Over the centuries, legends and myths have surrounded the Alexandria Lighthouse, some of which exaggerate its magnificence and size. Over the centuries, the Alexandria Lighthouse suffered significant damage due to earthquakes and natural disasters. The structure was severely damaged in the 14th century AD by an earthquake and eventually collapsed, disappearing from the coast of Alexandria. And these were the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Until next time.